What is going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend Astrology Horoscope for the weekend of March 25th and the 26th of 2023. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Hope you had a great week. Hope everybody's doing outstanding. I appreciate you so much for being here and hope you're ready for the weekend. Let's take a look at that weekend. It is Aries season, of course. The sun's going to come to about 6 degrees by the end of Sunday evening. Just kind of chilling here. It's really not making any crazy major aspects to anything in the chart other than it's making that quincunx to the south node to start off Saturday. So, I don't know. It's weird energy right now when we look at like a lot of desires. And it's weird because we're having to transform them because desires are changing. Pluto has ingressed into another sign. It's a rare moment. It's not something that happens every year, every month, every day, right? Like 16 years since we've seen a Pluto ingress. And even Mars, the other dispositor of that south node, ingresses into Cancer. So in terms of like our desire nature, and especially how we like go after things or how we identify things, there are aspects in life that are just different right now. They could be, for some people, cutting us kind of deep to the bone, making us ask a lot of questions, maybe a lot of whys. Why is this like this? Why is this way? Sometimes it just is, right? And I think that instead of getting so, letting things take you way too far down a rabbit hole that really doesn't matter, it's like really focusing on what feels like it does matter. And I say that often, but this is like, what do you have an identification of? What is clear? Focus on the clarity right now and focus on the things with Mars, which is now in its fall position in Cancer, which I'm happy Mars is at a Gemini. Whenever Mars retrogrades, it's like 7.5 months of just, oh God, here we go. It's like we get a little worn out. And that is a very mental sign of Gemini, right? And it's quick, it's very intellectual, it's thinking about things, it's talking, it's trying to understand. So now it's more about identifying with emotion, our deeper feelings within ourselves. And, it is about the action of the feeling. And especially with a moon in Taurus, feeling good here. The quality of life. What is quality of life to you? And how do you smother yourself in whatever qualities of life are present for you right now? I'm not here to tell you what quality of life is for you, but what is it to you? These are instead of asking questions of why I don't have that quality, why not look around and be like, you know what, I can pick up this nice pillow or put on this, comfortable shirt or whatever it is that brings a sensual quality to your physical world. And then it's the emotional response that is so important. So when you get emotion this weekend, because we're going to feel more emotional this weekend with Mars in Cancer, instead of getting upset or angry about emotion, act on them. Do something about it. You figured out truth. You've actually done so much learning and understanding. Stop thinking about it. Let the emotion, respond emotionally, and it won't feel as weird, even though it can be weird because there's just a different sort of passion. There's a different sort of mix of life right now. And Mars and Pluto are in their exact quincunx as well. So those are weird quincunxes between the dispositors of the south node, and the sun is quincunxing the south node. Okay, so it's just a little weird. And Pluto is starting to square the south node, which it disposits. Mars is actually starting to trine it, though. And that's why I think that, we can get really caught up in trying to crack some crazy code mentally. But are we not mentally exhausted? Let's get back more into identifying with the emotion, the feeling. That will help us with our personal lives, our home lives. And you know what? Things might test us. They might test our emotions. They might try to trigger us and make us, feel unsecure or insecure about a situation. We don't have to go there. And even the mind too, right? This weekend we're going to see Mercury Chiron. So we're seeing that conjunction with Mercury and Chiron, which again can make us feel like we don't have the right words to say. We're not mentally strong. We might, I want to say something, and we'll start thinking so fast about all the things we want to say, and we might stutter. Little things like we don't need to be so hard on ourselves. Energy is different now. Things have shifted. So, give yourself some credit, give yourself some love, give yourself like some even like attention to say, yeah, like it's been a journey. I need to like take a moment to feel the really good sensual qualities of life. And the moon's going to sextile Neptune. So that's very, very intuitive. It's very sensitive, but it's trying to, show us the vision or the dream or just some kind of enlightening place of quality of life, especially in Taurus, and then building and nurturing that and feeling confident. So this Saturday is kind of like can you feel confident even in the unknown, even in unpredictable, even in weird turns, weird twists? And really know that your emotion is giving you the calling that you're looking for. It's giving you the vision, the dream. But Venus is here in Taurus too. Like sometimes we have to put in some effort for quality, but maybe it's just effort on ourselves to really love and uplift ourselves and feel good about ourselves. So a lot of this is kind of coming back to self, although Pluto in Aquarius is kind of making it more about people, and we're going to start to feel that more and more. But remember, like it's Aries season. We got the moon and Venus exalted and dignified in Taurus. And, Mars just came into Cancer. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of personal stuff that needs to be addressed. And it's almost like that's part of the quincunx to the South Node with the sun is going through the transformative process, letting go of maybe harsh emotions about self even, and getting into, okay, I feel this, now what am I going to do about it? So if we're feeling down, it's because we need to act. There's something that needs to be done. And I think that's the best way to look at it. And then the moon will come into Gemini by Saturday evening, and it will make that first trine over to Pluto in Aquarius. Right, so it came into Taurus and squared Pluto the same day that Pluto ingressed, and now we get the trine, which does kind of get us back into this very mental place, especially, trying to understand very deep emotions. But it's also saying that you've found out what feels good. You feel it right now. You have to express your feelings. You have to, it's taking you somewhere you haven't been before. So remember, like, don't suppress emotion this weekend. The sensitivities are good. And when you feel things, you don't have to crack the code about the feeling. Just act. It's Aries season. Like, it's very impulsive. Like, acting is good right now. It gets things moving. It gets the ball going instead of being in just a state of contemplation, if you will. And we're starting to see Mars just 2 degrees away from the trine over to Saturn. So we are going to see this like grand trine between Saturn, Mars, and the South Node, all in water, which is very interesting because we can pull a lot from our passions and our deeper desires. We just also can't hold on to things that maybe don't hold that passion any longer. So there's like a responsibility to let things dissolve. There's a responsibility to act on our intuition, to act on feeling, and to act on passion. And to start, laying the groundwork here for what's to come. And as we look at Sunday's chart, the sun's at 5. It's going to come to 6 degrees. By the evening time, we are seeing Mercury pass Chiron in Aries. Again, like, don't be a mental victim. This is a mental strength time. We've Jupiter's crossed this Chiron. There's been doubts of our own beliefs, doubts of our self-empowerment. Are we really going to, keep doubting? So a lot of this is like understanding so much of your healing work has taken place, and it's at a higher level. Last time Mercury and Chiron met, Chiron was not at 15 degrees of Taurus halfway through. It was probably at, 12 degrees. I haven't looked back to see when that was, but probably right around there. So it's a more mature, way of understanding who, what and who you are, how to express oneself, how to communicate strongly, and even passionately, right? With the aspects to Pluto that Mars is still making, the quincunx, and then, of course, these interesting aspects with the trines from Saturn and Mars and Saturn in their trine building up as well. So, and even Pluto in the square to the south node. There's so much in the Scorpio. It's almost like we all have some aspect deep within us that we're holding on to, that's really holding us back from new, that's holding us back from initiation. And we gotta be honest with ourselves and honest with others and, live our lives from a strong emotional place. Not a place of feeling weak, because emotion is, at that place with Mars in Cancer where it's triggering. Mars in Cancer will get angry, especially if it doesn't feel safe or if it feels insecure. It can get triggered. So we have to kind of hold it together. We want to hold it together and use that feeling to initiate forward. The moon's going to be in Gemini all day Sunday, and it's going to start off the day with that sextile over to the sun in Aries, which is good. I mean, this definitely gives us a kick. It's Aries season. The fire with the air and the moon in Gemini here is going to give us a little punch. It's going to stoke up the fire in our life. So I think by Sunday we are feeling like we want to do some things, try a couple things on. Definitely might be a day where we're kind of like juggling, because we're trying to understand the emotion. So we're going to kind of, juggle a few tasks at once and see which one sticks. It does kind of feel like throwing a couple things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And being like, oh, okay, this brings better quality. This is going to stick. This doesn't. I'm going to let it dissolve. I'm going to let it go away. I'm going to let it go back up to the ethers. It doesn't need to be with me anymore. Whether that's a feeling or whatever it might be, something that we're emotionally attached to. I think that, if we can be real honest about our emotional attachments and use that grand trine that's building over this next few days, it'll be very helpful for us. But we can also let it slip away and also dedicate ourselves way too much to staying in an emotional kind of pit. So this is like a good weekend, I think, to mix things up, do things a little differently, express our emotions. Expression is so important. With the moon in Gemini, sextile the sun in Aries, and Chiron and Mercury conjunct in Aries, gotta just tell the truth. You gotta be honest about what you want. You gotta be honest about the environment. You gotta be honest about changes that you want to see made, things that you want to start. Full expression and being able to communicate that is so powerful right now. And it'll help you really bask in the quality of life that you desire, that you deserve. We all deserve quality of life, right? So that's where I'm at for this weekend, and hope you find that helpful. And I hope that, this is a weekend where we can all make some, maybe just little tweak or change to get more quality of life. Quality, connection, that we really do want to focus passions on, because that's the thing, is like some passions kind of got wiped clean with the South Node that went through Scorpio. Some things that we really were into, like very emotionally, like, yeah, kind of like that's what the South Node does. It takes, through its time through that sign, it takes the things away that don't matter anymore. And then it leaves you with what you actually really truly are passionate about. So that, I think we're really feeling that. Like, this is a weekend where all the changes, all the shifts are very noticeable. Whether they're noticeable just physically about how things take place, or they're very noticeable within yourself about what needs to initiate change or what needs to be done just to live more in the quality of life that you do desire. There's something that we're probably going to want to start this weekend and like give it a shot. Cards for this weekend are the Hierophant. Yeah, it's definitely time to, I think, ground out in something that you really value, something that you really believe in, something that you feel strongly like, I'm going to put the time in, put the effort in, put the belief, put the trust in. This is what I want to preach. It's almost like whatever you're trying to like preach to the world or preach to yourself, like now it's just time to really like live it, be about it, right? And the Nine of Pentacles, dang. Yeah, it's the sultry, the feeling, the quality. It's all about that. And I think that it's great to get the nine because it is about like knowing you're self-sufficient and that you can create everything that you want. It's not, the nine isn't so much about all the other stuff. It's about yourself and your manifestation qualities to have everything that you desire. So it's like lay the blocks down to what's amazing for you in your life. And if you already have it, keep building on it. If you're not there and you want it, now's the time to lay that first brick, to get to that, to build it up. But I think it's like it is part of like making it the practice. Like keep practicing whatever it is in life that brings you more quality, whatever that might be. Knight of Swords in reverse. Kind of funny. Reminds me of like Jon Snow and his wolf, but it's not. It's fast energy, and we're done with Mars in Gemini. And I know that didn't feel fast per se, but Mars in Cancer slows down. It feels slower. It's just emotional, right? Mars doesn't want to be in Cancer, and I'll tell you why. Because think about a warrior. It would be really hard to go to war, because Mars represents war, if you don't want to pull the trigger or pull your sword out and get the job done because you're emotional about somebody else's family or their life, right? That's not good for a warrior. You can't do that. If you want to win wars, I guess, which, look, I'm not here to promote war either. It's just an analogy. But, we have to act emotionally, not so much just on the big, mental picture. We've figured that truth out now. It's time to act now on what is going to bring physical goodness. And it slows things down, and we do become more emotional and more empathetic. So it is, a day to not let your mind bring you down, but to only use your mind to uplift and empower and to really get your, either just your self-dialogue dialed in to where it needs to go, about where you're feeling it needs to go, or with other people. Get your dialogue with other people dialed in so that you are progressing forward. Because at least Mars in Cancer is in Cardinal, right? And Mars does like to be in Cardinal, even though the two signs that it is at fall and detriment are Cardinal. It does. It wants to go. The warrior does want to move. It'll move. You will move powerfully if you feel like you need to. If you feel it and then you try to understand it and try to intellectualize it, I feel like you're going to feel kind of stuck and less empowered this weekend. So I would say act on emotion, act on some impulses. We're finally ready to act on impulses. Everything's direct. I don't know what to tell people. At this point, it is like, you got the feeling, do the thing. Do the thing. Don't hold yourself back, especially if it's mental. That'd be a Chiron Mercury wound. I'm just thinking about all these things I should do, but I don't want to do it. So, pretty fitting tarot cards. I like it. And gosh, I hope you feel great this weekend. I hope that you try something new. I hope you try something that you love. I hope you just bask in beauty. Like, why not? Make your life more beautiful. If you already live the most beautiful life, just enjoy every minute of it. Tell yourself how much you love it. Express your gratitude. All right, I'm done. I love you all very much. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you all on Monday. Much love.